Welcome back to Recycled Model Railways. I'm Paul. So, as you've seen by the photo on the screen, I mentioned a few weeks ago about things you could do with models that are battered, old, or you don't see a purpose for. So, you've seen what we've got. Let's get on with the video. Right, so if you remember, this was a ratio kit built GWR coach and I never really liked it. So I decided that because I don't like throwing things away, I'll see what I can do with it. So, first thing, under the knife. We've cut out this section here, and as you can see, one on the other side as well. We've cut out the ornate windows and just left them as big openings, same here, same with the door. I didn't like the windows, I was going to leave them as was, but they just dated it too much, made it look an even older coach than we know it is. And then we've just chucked a very quick coat of primer on it so we can see what sort of general condition it's in, and it's battered. Up here the roof caves in. This is very rough here. Now I've got the paint off it, it's full of, I don't know what it is. There's marks at this end here as well. We've got damaged rods on the sides here that need to be repaired. There's a fair few things to do. I do like the ends, so we're going to be leaving those, because that looks like a container end door, kind of ish. But as you can see, it's got no buffers, it's got no connectors on it. I did take the connectors off, and I need to remove these blocks. I forgot to take them off beforehand. So what am I going to need to accomplish what I'm doing? And what am I doing? Well, as I said in that other video, I'm going to turn it into some sort of service wagon, if you like. So if they're out fixing track or whatever it is they're doing back in the 60s, 70s, they'd have had this. These days they provide them with a transit van and call it a welfare unit. So we'd have had this. It's an old coach that's been converted. So what are we going to need to do this? Right, well, I've got this. I have 3 of these. I have no idea where they're from, what make they are. There is no stamp on them anywhere whatsoever to tell me where they belong, but they came in a job lot a long time, and I'm talking years ago. So we're going to see if we can't use, well, I'm going to see if I can't use this end, because kind of thinking I'd like it to have a toilet looking facility up at this end, so I can white over them windows and they've got a washroom. And then let me just get an idea. Oh bloody hell. Yeah, I might have to butcher this a little bit. Sorry, I'm thinking as I'm going here, but I might have to butcher this a little bit, because right now we've got a seat landing right in the middle of the door, which I don't want. So I might have to cut the seating section out and then cut this toilet section separately and glue them in. So that's what we need that for. I'm sure if we didn't have it, we could have fabricated something. So what else have we got? Handbrake wheels, just in case the vehicle was ever left stood on its own. Thought it'd be nice to be able to operate the brakes. We've got this, which I think was Slater's, if I remember rightly, 4 in a pack for about a £5. Roller shutter door. So what I'm going to do is make 2 roller shutter doors for this, for the big openings, on the basis of they'd have been carrying stuff in there that they need, and a roller shutter door would give access, put a pallet in, whatever. Now I know there's probably somebody out there shouting, no, that didn't happen on the railways. Well, it does on my railway, alright. I like the idea of a roller shutter door. I think it's different, so I'm doing it, and sod what everybody else thinks, to be honest with you. Right, we've got 2 vac pipes that are going to go on. I've got 2 hooks that are going to go on. I'm going to weight it, because this thing has got no weight in it at all. It's terribly light. We've got 4 buffers. We've got some NEM pockets and Buckeye couplers and some brand new wheels because it came with plastic wheels. So what we're going to do, I'm going to start off by fixing some of the issues. So where it's a little rough, we're going to sand it down. On here, we're going to, there, if you saw that, no, you won't have, sorry. This here, where it's bent in, yeah, you can see that flexing, so we need to get that glued in. We need to deal with these rods underneath that are absolutely bent and battered and broken and all sorts. We need to get these bits off the ends, probably put the NEM pockets on, then give it another go over with a bit of primer, very lightly, because I don't want too much more primer on it. And then we'll start putting stuff in. So well, I'm not going to bore you by doing all these boring repair works on the video. It's pointless. You all know how to repair things. It's just going to, oh god, I've just found another one, another issue right there. That is just completely buggered. So it's out with the super glue and the quick setting spray. Get this fixed up, and then we've got to be really methodical about how we're doing this, because what I've got to think about is getting some of that in here. I've got to think about what colour it's going to be, which I've kind of decided because I know where I'm going to attach this model. I do have an old set that I made up years ago that is going to see the light of day. I'm going to bring it back out and jiggle about with it a little bit, but it's predominantly a grey stroke white stroke black unit with a black 08, and it's meant to be just a service unit. So I'm thinking that it's going to be grey, white roof, dirty it up, make up my own transfers. I'm not quite sure what I'm putting on here yet, but I'll make up some transfers. So the colour isn't going to be any change at all other than the roof. But I've got to think about cutting this up and getting it inside, and then getting some plastic inside and hoping I can get past these. Whiten one out where I've got these toilet thingies I talked about. Getting the weights. Now if I put weights in, I can only get them in this end because the seats are going to sit there. So I'm thinking that I'm going to drop weights across the bottom of all of that, because there's plenty of space there, there's bugger all there, and everything else that's on it will be hidden by it. So why not just do that? So we're going to drop weights all the way along there just to give it some heft, and then once it's all together, the last kind of thing we're going to be doing is cutting this roller shutter, putting it here, and then we're going to use a little bit of plastic strip just to frame around it, and also to put a little bit on the bottom of this door as the lip that you would normally see on a roller shutter door, and then we're done basically. So let's get on with it, stop talking, stop boring people, and crack on, and I'll pop back in from time to time showing you where I'm at. Okay, so I thought I'd bring you back just at this middle point, because I haven't done anything at all in the order I said I was going to. I've just made a lot of mess. So if you remember, we had this. I'm saying that, it was seconds ago to you. To me it's about half an hour ago. So we've used that, and we've created this piece and this piece. So basically we've got one toilet side, because I thought two was a little bit of overkill and it meant I could put more seats in. So what I'm going to do, let me see if I can just, where's my remote? What we get is the seating arrangement and part of the toilet arrangement. So we've worked that we want to go, we've worked that we want to go from here just behind the door. So this is the just behind the door part, and that's to get in to where you sit. And then I'm going to glue, sorry, it's really hard to get this in focus when you're this close in. I'm going to glue the two pieces together, and then I'm going to chuck, I don't need to, but I am going to chuck a little bit of body filler underneath, because I like to use body filler. Plastic padding for those of us that are old as me, or catty, another word. I'm going to chuck some plastic padding underneath when it's glued, just to fill up some of the holes, and then I'm going to primer it, and then it will, because I've already checked, it will slide. Oh, let me get this off Zoom, because this is shocking. Right, so it's going to fit through here. I've already tried it. The toilet compartment set the height, so we're going to glue it all together, paint it, try it again, and if it works and it fits fine, then we're going to pull it back out, because I need to paint that, as I said, and I need to repaint this, and then before that goes in, we're putting that side will be white for the toilet, and I'm just going to use probably a laminate sheet again for the windows here and on the other side. Now I'm kind of thinking I might do this, or at least I'll try it. I'm kind of thinking about putting small round bars across the windows as like a, if you like, a security measure, because it would probably be full of tools. But I'll see what it looks like when I try that point and see if I think it looks okay. If it does, then it is going to mean that they're going to have to be painted, unless I can be really clean with it, because I'm going to probably, if I put them on, I'm leaving them white to go with the white roof that I'm going to have. So there you go. We managed to use this, because when they arrived with the job lot years ago, I thought, what the hell am I going to do with them? But they've now come in handy to make this little canteen area, if you like, to go inside the truck. Right, back in a bit. Right, I just thought I'd pop back in, so quick image. This is what we're looking like so far. We've got the roller shutter door piece cut the size, obviously not fixed in. We've got the seat arrangement sorted, it slides in nicely, there's enough room to put the plastic against the windows, so I'm happy with that. Don't know whether you've noticed, but I've removed all this crap that was on the bottom because it's just in such a bad state. The more I looked and the more I was gluing together, I thought, you know what, just cut it all off and start again. So I've got air tank ready to go back on, and the rest of it I'll just make out of plaster stuff, simple as that. But there you go, quick idea where we're going with it. Right, I just thought I'd bring you in, show you where I'm at with this conversion, if you want to put it that way. So I think the last time you saw this, I'd just finished cutting it up, so I haven't gone too far into detail with it. It's just going inside the coach and you're not really going to see them. So we've got 4 guys in there. It's a shame that you lose so much of figures. I wish people would make figures that were designed to fit into the seats in coaches, because I've had to cut them off just above the waist really, to get them in and not get above the height of this, because that's the maximum height I can fit in. So we've got the 4 people, 4 crew lads sitting there. I'm still messing about with this. So at the moment, as you can see, this is what's now where we're at with the ratio coach. I'm now down to the final things that take me forever, but it's changed several times. It was going to be all grey, then it was a light grey on the side and a dark grey on the roof, which was roof grey from Phoenix, but I changed my mind on that, and I've just literally thrown a coat of white on it, I think mostly to go with the white details. So we've got a handbrake wheel, we've got handrails which need another coat, and we put these on just plastic strips. I just thought that if this thing was full of tools, they'd probably try and make it secure in some way, so you know, weld some metal rods across the windows and the doors to stop people smashing the windows to get in. I've had a bit of an issue here where I broke the end of the step off, so I've had to put another piece on. It looks a little crooked, but the more I work on this thing, the more I keep convincing myself that really this would be an old coach that had already had a life, that had been thrown into use to do general railway maintenance repair work, and it's going to be battered. So things like the step here, the step here, how it kind of falls off a little because I got it wrong. When I was trying to straighten it, I thought, hang on, it might be bent in real life because it's been battered by something, so leave it alone. Same with the paintwork, and in some places I've deliberately put bits of super glue on and then painted over it so it looks like it's got a dent where it's been hit from the inside with something, and I'm just generally trying to make it look a little bit rough and weather beaten. This side you can now see, I hope. Let me tilt it towards the lights, there you go. So this side you can now see I've got that roller shutter effect that I was talking about going on. Handrail here to help them get in the door, handrail up there to help them get into this when it's open. I've got my wheels picked out, they've already been painted in frame dirt. I'm going to let the white paint on this dry on the roof, and then I'm going to do, it's just a, in case you're wondering, it's just a white primer because I'm going to weather this entire thing up anyway. So when it's a bit more usable to handle it, I'm going to paint the frame up in frame dirt. I've put buffers on each end because originally there was none. If you look closely you can just see here the NEM pocket that I've fitted to it because it had no, I don't believe it did anyway, I can't remember. I don't think it had any D-rings on it at all from memory. So I'm going to let this dry for a little bit, and then I can lash up the bottom. I'm going to give it all a coat of matte varnish just to dull everything off. Then I'll have to fit the crew cab part in through the other side of this carriage where the door isn't on yet. I've got the windows to put in, which one of them is going to have to be white because I deliberately made it so that there was a toilet compartment in amongst this seating for the lads. So I've got to cut those, spray one part of it white as it would be on the rail, do a few touch-ups, lash the brown on, get it sprayed up with dark matte, put the wheels back on it, and then the only thing I've got to do is to fit this on this side here. Okay, end of the job. So we took a knackered ratio kit and turned it into a staff riding van for the departmental works and permanent way crew, whatever you want to call it. So in summary, new wheels, moved the tank, added weights on it underneath because it was extremely light, new buffers, cut big holes in both sides, bought these roller shut the door things, cut them to size, bit of plastic trim around them. We have got a crew unit in there. I've got some coach bits. I think I might have shown it on the video already, but we've put a coach staff unit in there, white windows to denote there's toilets, privacy, etc. We've put a running board on to help them climb on. We've got handrails here to help them up. These here were put on the basis of stop people breaking in, if you like. NEM pockets just general replacements for tri-iron. We've got on the ends here, we've got the Porterhouse Engineering movable couplings. I still love them. I think they're brilliant. I think on a second radius curve with a slightly longer truck like this and another one behind it, the fact that them couplings twist and the other one will twist will make it easier going round, and I think there's less chance of the magnets either pulling apart because they're not completely touching, they're going to be a bit like that, or possibly flipping one of the wagons. So Porterhouse Engineering couplings, anything that's over a shorter wheelbase is going to get these fitted on my layout. I think they're brilliant. And then it was great, and at the last minute I changed it to bauxite and then decided to paint this in steel or oily steel. We did the roof white, and then as you can see I have weathered the hell out of it, because there's no way on God's green earth would anybody give a flying you know what as to how clean this wagon was or what it looked like or anything else. We got all this lettering and stuff from Fox Transfers, staff riding van. I had the British Railway transfers anyway. You could argue in the period I'm talking about you'd be on double arrows. Well, not necessarily. There was still stock floating on with the old insignia, and why would they take it off and put double arrows on this thing? We've got a data panel, we've got some flashes up there, although you can't see much of that because they're covered in muck. We stuck the pipe on the top just to denote that there might be some kind of burner inside heater for the staff to keep them warm. So, was it worth it? Yes, for me, 100% it was worth it. I got something that I will put on my railway now instead of thing that would have sat in the box because I wouldn't part with it. It has given me some more work though. I was reading up the other night about these localised depot departmental permanent weight crews. This was a part of it, a crew van. Tool shed I've combined. However, there is also other stuff that isn't in the one I made, but the one I made was just me making it out in my head. So to make it a little bit more realistic, apparently there would be a hopper carrying fresh ballast, there might be a plank wagon to carry any old ballast in, there would be a wagon carrying not a lot of rails but some rails, there would be a wagon carrying sleepers, and a guard's van obviously, and 2 cranes. Apparently so that when the smaller cranes, so they could lift each end of a section of rail and put it in place. So I have one crane on that, on my, if you look on the video, I have a crane in the set. So literally as I'm making this video today, that's arrived. Another Hornby crane. Now it's got to change its colours, it's going into the same as the other one was, which I think is black and white. So it'll go in the same colours. We need a sea cow wagon, I think it was. I've got loads of plank wagons. I've got lots of trailers that I can put some rail on, so that's not an issue. And I have, in front of this, I have a little low wagon, and sitting on it is a buffer stop which the mast rests on. Seems a little strange, but I did actually see a picture, real railways denoting this wagon in front of this with a buffer on to hold the jib up. Why not? So I'm thinking that I'm going to need another one for this crane, so I can utilise that and buy some old track off Peter, because he always has some in a box at the front door. Cut the sleepers off carefully and the chairs, because they wouldn't have chairs on, and then on these little trucks I can put spare sleepers and then have a separate truck with rails on. It does mean I'm going to be modifying the little rolling kit that I used to have, but that might be a bad idea because it was just thrown together out of my head. So we're going to take this now. This is getting added. There's another couple of wagons I need to pick up, and we're going to make a full permanent way. Now the one thing that will change is on mine I have a little 08 shunter. that was, you know, I used for that purpose. I'm now looking and thinking, yeah, that OH Hunter wouldn't be man enough to pull 2 cranes, this, a guard's van, 2 short trailers and a long trailer. So we're going to pick one of my diesels, probably something small like a 24, 28, maybe a 33, something like that, that will pull these things. It'll lead the pack. So there you go. If you've got a model that you really don't like, 2 choices. Give up, put it in a bin, or put some effort in and make something that you want or that you think might look nice on your railway. I'm happy with that. It's exactly what I was looking for. It's battered to death. It's supposed to be battered to death. I have deliberately let things, these rails, I hated them, to bend them a little bit so they look like they took a knock and a bang and so on and so forth. So yeah, make something out of it. Give it a go, like the title said weeks ago when I showed this and several others. Anyway, enough jibber jabber. Time for me to go. Thanks for watching, folks. Thanks for subscribing, and thanks for putting up with a week's delay, because I should have got this out last Sunday, but unfortunately life takes over. See you all again. Bye for now.